You feel it, I feel it, that overwhelm that can creep in when you see the number of photos sitting on your camera roll. How do you even start to tackle what's there and ultimately keep it organized? Well, if you're dealing with thousands, even tens of thousands of photos on your phone, it's a challenge to document them and do something meaningful with those memories. But Studio 5 creative editor and memory keeping enthusiast Jill Broadbent is here to help us with solutions to curate your camera roll. Good to see you, Jill.
You too.
How do we view this undertaking?
So I think when you look at your number, and everyone could just go check right now and see, is it tens, is it hundreds,
I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
I'm for sure it's over 10 for almost everyone who has a smartphone, right?
Yeah.
And so you're thinking of that and that feels overwhelming. But if you zoom in, you know how your camera roll does that? Like you can have tons of little tiles or you can zoom in so you're only seeing like 6 tiles. Zoom in and those pictures become moments instead of this overwhelm. And I think when you start to break it down into more like topics and things, then you're able to kind of live with them and enjoy them and make something of them instead of feeling like you just have this massive scroll of photos.
Well, elaborate on that, breaking it into topics.
Right, so if you want to do something with those photos, but you don't know where to start and you don't know how you're going to manage them or handle them, and am I printing 10,000 photos? No, you're going to choose a topic. So you're going to get started by picking a topic. So here today we're talking about 3 different topics. These are just ideas to get you started, kind of where most people start in wanting to do something with their photos. And so we're going to talk about just a year in review. We're going to talk about vacations. We're going to talk about our kids. And if you start with something like the year in review, think about 2023, right? If you're thinking back, you've had some milestones probably, you've had some holidays, you've also had some everyday moments, right? That were pretty magical and you captured that.
Those are actually always my favorite.
Right. So if you think about putting all of those in just a folder, your camera does show you everything from 2023, but if you make a separate folder on your phone and say 2023 highlights, then you go through and you put in, I don't know if you want 25 or 100. Either way, that's a manageable number to work with for the year. Print those and do something with just those, and you have this beautiful highlight of what your life looked like in 1 year.
I will say I did this for my kids this Christmas. I made a chapbook of yearly highlights, and that particular software system allows you to do what you just described. Isolate a year and then just tap, tap, tap through the highlights. And it was it did a lot of things for me as a mom, actually. I think it built up that we did a lot this year. Even though it felt like a rather blasé year, there were those good moments. And the feeling of getting those off my phone to celebrate and touch and enjoy, that's irreplaceable.
Right. And I was just saying last night when I was getting all these books ready, we pulled them out and then my kids wanted to sit and pour through them. And so taking the time to print them and do something with them is priceless.
Because
so it really is worth it.
We know they're doing us no good on our phone.
Right. I mean, they are.
Well,
because you took them. So we're going to give you credit for taking them.
But to be enjoyed and have that moment that you had with your kids last night where they're all paging through.
Exactly.
So is that what you've done here?
So this is year in review. It was like, this was a way that you just printed your Instagram, and I did them fun, cute, but you don't have to do it that way. This is a chapbook, and that's an easy way, like you said, to just upload and print and have those at the ready and a quick snapshot of what the year was like and what you enjoyed at that time.
So that's your category.
Whatever your curation way of doing it, like however you want it displayed, is totally up to you. You can do it quick and easy, print and bound, you can scrapbook, whatever is fun to you and makes it fun to make these memories in your home, go that route. So.
All right, that's topic suggestion number 1, do a year in review.
Same with travel, right? We always take these vacations, we usually take tons of photos, but again, go through your camera roll, choose the highlights. First of all, delete some, because for sure you took 20 pictures of one specific thing.
And you know what I found? See if you can meet me here. Sometimes it just takes time. Like I will take 6 pictures of Penny, and there are 6 different faces. And in the moment, I can't part with a single one. But give me a few months. If I go back, I can take it down to 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's great. After the trip, just go through, delete whatever you don't want, but then still, you might keep on your camera roll more pictures than you actually want to sit and pour over. So make another folder that says Boston or San Diego and then print just those snapshots of those memories. You're going to feel really accomplished because you're going to have these pictures off your phone and in something you can enjoy, but you're not going to feel overwhelmed and say, oh, but there's still 100 more on my phone. You're going to love and live with these.
And there's an interesting psychology. I don't know if I've ever seen it quantified or studied, but you'd seem to remember the childhood memories that are documented. Like, I don't want to apply pressure, but when the home video clip comes up, you're like, oh, I remember
My
that.
daughter did that last night and said, I don't know how I remember that because I was so little. I'm like, because you've looked at these so many times in your life.
It becomes imprinted into your psyche.
It's so important.
Okay, third topic.
Okay, your children, right? You just said you
got
took
a few
all
of
these
those.
pictures of Penny, right?
Yeah.
So take either one child or one part of their life and do that same thing. Think if you were making like a slideshow of their life. Maybe, I don't know, I always did like something at 8, something at 18, you know, these kind of milestone parts of their life or their first year. This is like from Owen's book I did.
Oh my gosh,
a
Owen.
scrapbook page for every month. So again, that's one book of 1 photo, 2 photos of every month.
Yeah.
And those are all just something you can kind of decide what are your highlight memories of the children over a certain amount of time and make that same folder.
What do you think, Jill, of a topic as niche as birthdays? Like if I were just to do Boston's birthdays, would that be?
That would work great because you could make an easy album for him of all his birthdays, or you could do birthdays in 2023 and all, you know, all your families in there.
And do you think the effort will matter to our kids? Like it matters to us.
Right. We have to teach them why it matters because our kids have so many photos of themselves, right? You think about your grandparents. You maybe have a dozen photos of them over the course of their life, but our kids have 12,000 photos and they're 5, 6 years old, like what's coming for them. And so they don't see the value in it as much, right? They don't know like that a picture is valuable. And there's Stacy Julian, who we love as a scrapbook expert, memory keeping expert. She says that it's the difference between rubies and sand. And so your photos that you have from your ancestors are rubies. They're precious to you. But to our kids, their photos are sand. They have tens of thousands of them. And so it's our job as the curators and the editors of our family's memories to choose which ones become the rubies. And they become rubies because you attach that story to them. So when you put some words with the photo, then the value is added there. And so you get to choose which ones of those photos need to stand out so your kids don't just dismiss the tens of thousands.
Well said, Jill. In conclusion, how do we stay motivated? If this still feels, more doable, but a little bit overwhelming, how do we keep ourselves fueled?
Yeah, I think that's the helpful thing is just choosing the topic you're going to do. And say, I'm going to work on, this is an important topic in my mind right now, and I'm going to choose 25 photos, and that's for this month, and I'm going to do that. And then you actually start to catch a bug with it. I promise it happens. You start doing it and then you love it. So then you'll do the next one. But start right now thinking, as we talked about this, what kind of triggered in your mind is something, oh, I need to do that. Pick 25, pick 50, whatever is manageable for you, and just do that and print them.
Print them, get them off the phone. Jill, great advice. Thank you for coaching us. And you did that today. You pumped us up.